Yeah, I was trying to find our page. Somebody made a comment.
Good evening, Tide. Good evening, Tide. Good evening, Tide.
What does tide mean?
I don't know. I read it in a book before.
And it said, "Good evening, Tide."
Yeah,
And you just decided to repeat.
I do it all the time.
Well, good evening, Tide.
ain't the way, ain't the way you say it.
Oh, all right, my bad.
Mm,
I can't find that post you put today.
post.
The one saying we was going live. Somebody made a comment about something and I can't see it. Oh, that's neither here nor there. It's one I picked up. No, I'm just playing. Good evening, folks. I just say folks. I don't know who Tide is, so besides the laundry detergent.
Are you introducing our topic?
No, I thought you were.
I did last week.
No, you didn't. I did.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. So we are going to talk about marriage.
Are we talking about marriage or?
I mean, it's part of. I don't know, Tia. You introduce it. I don't know.
I wanted to know for real.
Because it's all that's all part of it, ain't it? That's all part of the discussion.
Oh, okay.
Ain't I mean that's what we talking about, right?
Yeah.
Like I mean the topic you put on the space book was he who finds a wife. Right? So I mean, what does that entail? We're gonna talk about that today. What does that look like? Got a few questions for you to answer. But yeah, like people have differing opinions as far as like dating, finding a mate, different stuff like that. So today we're gonna talk a little bit about that there.
All right.
All right.
Fire away.
Fire away. All right. So what's the first question? You go to banners. All right, go to banners. Okay. So gotta show it. All right. So why do you think God said he who finds a wife?
So is this both of us answering this question?
Yeah, this you answering this question.
I mean, I personally feel like, it was the command of the man because he was first. So it fell on the man. The man is the head. Like that's God's position for man is to be the head. So I think that's why he said he who finds wife. But at the same time, I mean, it could be one of those. It could be. I mean, I don't know. It could be. I don't know. But I mean, I personally think he. I guess it would involve a lot of research if it's one of those gender neutral he's.
That's what I was about to ask you. Like, so you think when he said he meant like brother man?
I honestly, I really don't know. I think that's the connotation everybody has always read that scripture in is he, like he, the man, he. But I mean, I can see that would be the case considering, it was Adam's rib and blah, blah, blah that created the woman. So I can see why that would be, but I don't know. What about you?
That's kind of where I was at with it when you started talking about like the supposed to be the head, like the leader, and stuff like that. And I mean, you made a good point, like he was first. But yeah, like it's to me, and I can't necessarily get all into it like with explanation or whatever, because it'd be kind of hard to explain, I guess. But like just the whole being the head of the household, you know what I mean, head of the family. So it's like, yeah, like you, if you the head, like, okay, well you get the pieces in, you know what I'm saying, the pieces in place that need to be in place. But I think it goes to, I think it speaks to that more than anything. You know what I'm saying? But it's really like you said, in my opinion, it's hard to explain it. But I do think it has something to do with being the head of the household. So yeah, there's that.
All right. Well,
I mean,
that's the end of the show. I mean, we explained it all.
there's that. All right. So we like to be very punctual. So I think we got in our time.
Yeah, that quick 3 minutes. All right. So sometimes when I literally really sit there and think about it, it's kind of difficult to like really break that phrase down, he who
Yeah.
finds a wife, but
Yeah.
it has to come. That's a man's scripture. Like it's literally a man's scripture. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord.
Mhm.
So, I think that's a thing that God gave to the man to do,
Mhm.
to find a wife. However, I guess in the what we're talking about
Phew.
when it comes to, the age old question, can, women's pursuit of a man, like I think those are two different things. I personally think those are two different things.
You think what's two different things? Finding a wife.
And a woman's pursuit of a man.
What if the woman? What if? Well, obviously, a woman's pursuit of a man is pursuit of a husband. But what if that woman is pursuing a husband?
She can be pursuing a husband, but I would think at some point, the man in his maturity would recognize whether or not that's his wife. You know what I mean? Like people have that discussion back and forth all the time, but it's like if the man is not interested in marrying you, you can't find a husband. Me, like I can't go find a husband if the husband I'm pursuing don't want me as his wife.
Hmm.
The man finds his wife.
But he also can't find a wife if she's not interested in marrying him.
That's a different thing. Like I in the sense of the way I'm looking at this scripture is he who finds a wife means I've sought out who I think my wife is. Mm-hmm. We're in a relationship. Mm-hmm. We are pursuing this thing, and I found my wife. I think that comes from the man.
Okay.
Like a woman can't find a husband unless what are you finding? Is he immature?
What do you mean?
Well, you're saying if she's pursuing him, like the thought process is.
So a woman can't find a husband.
No, I don't necessarily think a woman can't find a husband. But what I'm saying is when we're talking about this particular scripture, the man has to agree to this thing.
Right.
So in a sense, it's still the same. He found his wife. I think it's like all the same. I mean, in my head, if that makes sense. Like woman.
It does, but it doesn't. It's back to the hard to explain. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's hard to put it in words. So essentially, like even if the woman is like pursuing him and they are dating or whatever, and she's bringing up marriage, even if it's her doing that, if once he decides and says, yes, I want to marry you, that's still him finding a wife.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. It's his decision on whether or not he wants to marry her. Because literally a woman can be in a pursuit of a man and, talking marriage and stuff. If that man don't want to marry her, he didn't find his wife. And if he's in a pursuit of a woman who don't want to marry him, he didn't find his wife.
Okay.
I mean, that's how it breaks down in my head.
All right. So I'm new to this because you usually do the banners. Which one was this? Oh. All right. So I understand what you said. Like it all to you in your head, it still all goes back to he found a wife. Like no matter what, no matter who initiated conversation, no matter how we got here, it goes back to he found his wife. So the next question is, to what extent is it acceptable for a woman to pursue a man? Like is there a line? Because people will say, yeah, a closed mouth don't get fed. So if you like somebody, you interested in somebody, then you speak up. If you in a relationship and you want something out of that relationship, you speak up. So is there a line that, okay, yeah, you can let your feelings be known and thoughts be known up to this point, but you don't go past this threshold, like asking a guy to marry. Is that acceptable? Is that
I mean, I don't see why that wouldn't be acceptable, because if a man is not interested, he's simply not interested.
right?
Regardless of what it is I think a woman will do.
Mm-hmm.
Like a woman can pursue a man and do all that type of stuff, and vice versa. If one party is not interested, it still comes back to he didn't find his wife. Like you can't force somebody to marry you and claim, oh, God said when I find my wife, I obtain favor from him. Everybody got to be in agreement that okay, I'm your wife, regardless of how all that looks. At the end of the day, the agreement to marry has to be between those two parties.
Right.
So he found his wife. Even if she found her husband, he still found. Yeah. But people take that to the man has to ask to marry. The man has to pursue the woman.
Mm-hmm.
And women, like who was it? Ruth. She pursued Boaz. Like she literally went and uncovered his feet and laid next to him. Like that for her, and that custom, I guess it was. That was her
throwing her hat in the ring.
Yeah, literally it was. That was her way of letting him know that, I'm ready for you. Like, you gonna marry me now?
You ain't
Like,
never uncovered my feet and laid there. What'd he say?
He said a man will know when he knows. I mean, I agree. He's going to know that even though this woman is pursuing me, oh, okay, yeah, that's the one, or absolutely not. That's why I think the way people say it is basing it off of the man doing like all of the work.
All the work.
Yeah, to pursue a woman, to do all of this type of stuff. But I think it depends on who you are reading that scripture and putting that scripture into play. Like that's one of those type of things that you really got to rightly divide what it is that you're reading, because I feel like so many women, especially, we'll just put it out there, women in the church who want to be married, feel like the man has to pursue them. I'm saved and I'm praying, and it said he who finds a wife, but so then I'm waiting and waiting, like
passing up dates.
Yes, all these years. You may be waiting, and you've been discovered. But because it don't look like what you thought, or because you've been sitting over here silent, and you've seen this guy that you was like, oh, go up and say something to him, but you didn't, because you feel like the pursuit has to be on you. Like that's missed opportunity for me.
Got you.
Yeah. See, you just knew that was who.
All right, 10 years later, strong. So essentially, what I like, what it say? You can't wait since faith. Well, okay.
Yeah.
So basically, like, when I listen to you break it down or explain it, to me, it all comes back to that leadership, being the head. You know what I'm saying? So like you said, regardless of who pursues who, you know what I'm saying? Who makes it known that, I want to get married, or whatever the case. Like, I think because the man has been put in that position of head of the household, you know what I'm saying? Like, or that leadership role, then like you said, okay, his decision trumps everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and not in a way where it's almost like when, like you said, people take it so literally. It's almost like when we talked about submission. And people take it so literally where they're just like, submission mean you do everything I tell you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so instead of, like you said, letting your feelings and thoughts be known, and then allow that man to do, you know what I'm saying, what he's ready to do with those, so to speak, as far as getting married or moving forward in this relationship, or even being like, you know, I'm ending the relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see you as my wife or whatever. Yeah, I think like you said, some people sit back and they wait and they wait. And then sometimes those is the ones, sometimes you're looking on Facebook and you're like, oh, all right.
I mean, at the same time, like if you are you sitting and waiting because you're being prepared to be a wife, or are you sitting and waiting because you holding fast to the scripture that says he who finds a wife finds a good thing? Like, what are you doing in your wait? Like,
but see, and that's the thing. Like, I think, and it's just my personal opinion, I think that when somebody takes this scripture literally like that, most times they're waiting on something where they're waiting to be pursued. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't asking no dude out.
Right.
Like, even down to something like, I guess that's not necessarily small, but something that small. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't even gotta be marriage. It can just simply be, I'm not asking a guy out.
Right.
And it's like,
because it goes against everything, especially for women. It goes against everything women have ever been taught.
Right.
That you sit back and you wait for your husband to find you. Like, but if you're sitting back waiting for your husband to find you, how is he ever going to find you? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like you've hidden yourself because you're waiting to be found. But, you know, again, I guess I'll have to take it back to Ruth. Like, she made herself known to him. You know, she came to him, making herself known, letting him know this is something that I want from you. At that point, it was up to him to decide, okay, yes, I see it too. Yes, I'll take you as my wife, or, you know, pursue this relationship. Then, okay, he gifting her, then he pursuing her at that point. But if a man don't want you as his wife, it's like a done deal. Like, you ain't been found, you know? So, but that's why I say it comes back to the man, you know, being in agreement that this is my good thing. This is my favor.
So another perspective, I guess, is that the word find. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, okay, then we can look at it like, and I don't want to put this in a way that makes it seem like that's just men out here like sniffing around. But like, to me, that word says that for men, that's the goal. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the goal. Like, to be the head of the household, you gonna be married. That's, you know what I'm saying? That creates the household. So it's like, even when he's not actively seeking or looking, he's still looking. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to explain. Like, okay, so he's not out like, yeah, let's go out because I'm looking for a wife.
To his friends.
Right. You know what I'm saying? To his friends or to whoever, like to a young lady or whatever. But on his trek or journey through life, he's looking for a wife.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So like,
so Rachel said she agreed. She don't think it's okay to let. I do think it's okay to let a man know you're interested, but she's shy. And she said, "I'm right. It goes against what culture teaches to women." But this comment she made, I think, "find" mean realize, and I actually agree. I think, you know, he who finds a wife is like, I realize this is the person I want to be my wife. This is the person I want to spend, you know, that time with.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I think and I don't want to call it a misinterpretation, but I think the literal part is them using like the word find. So like, find depicts that I'm looking for something at, you know what I'm saying, at all times. Like, look, I'm trying to find my keys. So I'm looking for them.
I mean, because keys are necessary.
They are.
Like a wife is necessary because that's your favor from the Lord.
Okay.
I'm just saying
But,
that's what the scriptures say.
But you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like I said, it's like, okay, that doesn't mean the word. Like I said, I think just the word find is where people get literal with it. Where they're like, okay, well, he looking for me. And it's like, no, he's out there. But just like Rachel said, she's shy. Maybe he's shy. Maybe he knows, and he's like, okay, but he knows what he wants in a wife. But he doesn't know you fit that description or you fit that until y'all talk. But naturally he's shy.
Right. So he ain't pursuing.
Right. But in his mind, just like when we're in grade school and they're like, write down where you're going to be at by the age of 25. And he wrote down, I'm going to be married with 3 kids and da-da-da-da-da. He's not actively doing that in grade school, but in his mind, because of the way we're set up, the goal is marriage. And like she said, it's not, I'm finding them, like I'm looking, I'm just always, every date I go on is like, yeah, it's the one. No, but at the same time, subconsciously, it's like, look, the ultimate goal is, because you can be the head of the household, but I mean.
So Rachel said it doesn't really matter how you start or meet. I agree. Do y'all think some may not pursue because we all have past and there are some judgmental people out there? I mean, I personally think so. Yes.
Do not pursue what? Do y'all think some men or women?
I mean, that
just
can
in
be,
general.
Yeah, I think that can be a general.
No, I was saying, is he saying
no,
in general?
I know, but I'm saying that we can look at it in general. Because people, if you have a past, then it do hinder whether or not, even as a woman, if I find you to be interesting, but I got a colored checkered past, maybe that'll hinder me from showing you that I'm available for pursuit, if you will, and vice versa. But I mean, I think it comes back to, are you available and ready for that type of pursuit as well? Like if a man, sees you, so to speak, are you ready? Like as a woman, would you be ready for that? Like, are you ready for that type of pursuit? Or, because you're so hidden and it doesn't look like how you want it to look,
right?
That's another, missed opportunity, for lack of a better word. And I think a lot of times, because again, what Rachel said, it's ingrained in women that, we're sitting waiting to be found. Like right. That's literally how it is. We're supposed to be sitting waiting to be found. But I think people take that they take it out of context. And I don't think that's what that means. But that's how people say it. People say it like that.
Yeah. Some people live by that. Still single.
I have to read his. So I mean, I wouldn't agree. I think it's a way that you show interest. Now, pursuit, let's see. Hold on. Yeah, you definitely got to watch who you bring around your kids. However, I think it's okay to, I don't know. I guess it depends on what people think pursuit is. Like, what is pursuit? For me, I'm not, I wouldn't run after a man and I mean literally throwing myself at a man like, hey, I'm ready to be found. But, hey, sir, here's your dinner.
I think that's what
I'm not sure I understand.
That was weird.
I wasn't talking to you, Siri. But I think that's what, when women think about like pursuing a man, like pursuing for a lot of people indicates like I'm chasing you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So like you said, I'm throwing myself at you, or I'm like waiting on you hand and foot because, I want it all to be perfect and pick me. I mean, I know some people will do that, but most women are going to be like, no.
No, sir.
Yeah, like, nah, I'm cool.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's okay to initiate. But my thought process too also goes to, okay, that pursuit has to be twofold too. Like I can't pursue somebody on my own since that's our word of choice right now. Like I can't do it by myself, especially if it's not reciprocated. Like that's a twofold thing. Like, you know, we're in pursuit of each other. But I also think that, you know, when we're talking about Christian dating, especially, our mindset is I'm dating because I'm hoping it turns into this forever thing.
Right.
Like as a Christian person who's supposed to be celibate, who's supposed to, you know, withhold, you know, till marriage, how I'm just going on random dates? No. Like my mindset is I'm dating to marry.
Right.
Literally.
Right.
I mean, I'm dating to get married. I'm dating hoping this will turn into you found your favor as a woman. Like I want to be your favor. So I mean, I think that's the purpose of, you know, I mean, I think that's the purpose of dating, but you know, definitely the purpose of Christian dating is to get married. But I also think that's why, you know, there's always that fine line between being equally yoked too. It's because if my thought process is, you know, not only do I want to be found to be favored, but at the same time, I also, you know, have this expectation that our relationship with God will be just as important, you know, and that we're both adhering to, you know, living our life that way until marriage. So in my thought process. Ooh, that's a loaded question there.
How many men and women avoid dating because some have hidden motives or want something? A lot of them.
Yep, I think so. Perfect example. I made this post on Instagram the other day. Now, clearly, this post had everything to do with God. Now, granted, I'm married too, so it didn't, you know, matter at the end of the day, but the amount of people that ended up in my inbox, oh, I'm just trying to get to know you, all this other type of stuff. Like you see one post and you automatically go to somebody's inbox just trying to get to know you on the God tag. Like that was a little whack to me. Like, what are you pursuing? You clearly didn't hear anything from God, because God is not going to, you know, oh, there's your wife, but I'm already married type of thing. And it actually, that's what made me start thinking of this conversation. Like, wait,
well, you know, I mean, people think like that a lot. I mean, there's plenty of people out there thinking like that's my wife or that's my husband, and they already married or involved with somebody.
That's funny. But you know what? That actually brings a different spin to when we talk about dating, especially Christian dating. Like I got kids, a few plus one, so I agree. But you know, kind of to piggyback off of that, I think, you know, making it known that you're available to pursue a relationship or want to be in a relationship to lead to marriage, even as a single woman with kids. I think, and I guess this is where it becomes that line of, who are you making yourself available to? Are you making yourself available, not you, Rachel, but are you making yourself available to any man, or are you making yourself available to a man after God's heart? You know, there's a difference in who I've made myself available to. Is this somebody who has a pursuit of God? Like I'm trying to do this thing how God want me to do this thing, or is it a man who does not have an ear to hear? You know, you can go all different type of ways, but at the same time, as a single woman, I'm saved, you know, got that relationship with God, you know, but I got 4 kids. Okay, when I'm found, even if I've made my interest in you known, when I'm found, that's a whole package deal. Like you ain't just gonna find me and you're blinded to the fact that I got 4 kids.
Right, but that's the thing. Like he said, the right man
Exactly.
is gonna respect that and know that. Like,
Yeah.
so it goes back to the dating pool. Like, if you're a Christian, are you just dating any and everybody? Like, or is it selective?
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, when it comes to Christian dating, the battle becomes to abstaining from sex. So then, yes, a lot of times people just dating to date, and hoping it falls into marriage because I don't want to burn in my flesh. I want to get which is the wrong reason to marry somebody anyway. But at the same time, you have that whole mess of stuff as well that you got to think about when you're thinking about Christian dating. I mean, I agree. I do. I think social media has put a spin on dating that isn't it's just not helpful. It's not helpful at all. People look at social media as the end all be all. This is how it has to be. They got. I was on Instagram the other day, and it was the what is it? Black Love page or one of those like that. And I was sitting there, I was watching this little video, and I said, "How do you miss the moment? Like, do you actually miss the moment? Like, you have hundreds of thousands of people liking this video, but you had to set your camera up. You had to do all of this type of stuff to catch this moment that all of these hundreds of thousands of people just liked. Like, where did we miss our moment that could have been had? You know
what you mean?
If I'm trying to capture this on video.
Oh, did the moment pass and we just pretended
that
the moment was there?
Yeah.
It's possible.
So I mean, so this is what single people see. And so this is what single people are desiring of. Is what I'm seeing on social media, especially now that we got this big push to capture all of these moments.
I mean, that's why they got relationship goals. And that's what people are on these days. But again, like you said, it's what I want you to see.
Yeah.
So I mean when we see photography, that's creating moments. You know what I'm saying? Like, rarely is it, oh, this was just a natural. We had our camera.
No, I'm not talking about the photography moments.
No, I know. I'm saying the people that you saying on that page, like doing that, like for the people to say, oh, I love that, or I like.
I know,
that.
But when I think about it, I'm like, okay, we about to celebrate 13 years. We're doing a photo shoot. We're having a photo shoot, but these are very detailed videos. Like, I'm talking about, it's craziness. Like the detail that go into these videos, and it's like people are showing a reel, and that's what they call it, actually, a reel of their life. But it's so it's too detailed for it to be a natural moment for us. Like, a picture is different. There is the thought process that in the picture we are capturing a moment in this picture, but in a video that someone is watching, we don't see that much into their intimate life,
right,
in general. So it's did you miss the moment that could have been had with your husband or your wife because your focus was on creating this reel that someone's seen? So you still missed the moment anyway. But hundreds of thousands of people still liked it though.
Yeah, because because it's fairy tale stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's trying to keep up with others.
Mm-hmm.
That, like you said, social media. I'm sure it's ruined plenty of relationships. Because I think we talked about it before, where you kind of compare your relationship to that, or you look at that and you think like, oh, well, that's what we striving for. That's what I'm striving for. And it's like, but it's not real. It's,
and when you,
no pun intended. But
when you think, when you think about it, I think it goes back to the conversation that we're having in general, especially when you think of, he who finds a wife. But I'm so in tune with how that was made to look, that, oh, these good Christian women literally sit on the pew Sunday after Sunday, in modesty, and in 10 years, I'm suddenly found to be somebody's favor. That's what's been presented. Like, how real is that?
For some people,
It can't be.
I mean, for some people would have you believe so.
But that's my point. Like, and I think that's a lot of, I always think it's like, how many, not how many potential husbands did you miss because you simply had this idea that you literally got to sit here to be found? Like, I think I think that's a lot of wasted potential opportunities. Especially, like, and we're talking about serious people with relationships with God, but I'm misinformed in how that scripture reads. And then I'll put it this way. I think a lot of all of this is going to go back to their relationship with God anyway. Especially as the woman. God, are you telling me I got to sit on this pew Sunday after Sunday and wait to be found? Or are you going to give me instructions just how she gave Ruth those instructions to be found? That's how Boaz found Ruth. Ruth was given instructions by her former mother-in-law, or I mean, I guess it was still her mother-in-law. She was given instruction, and she followed those instructions, and she was found, and ended up being favored to him. He took her to marriage. So I don't know. I think, again, I'm gonna just say, I think people got to rightly divide what it is they're reading and really be in tuned to what that means. And if you're not, you really gonna be sitting on this pew for 10 years, looking straight ahead, as thinking, okay, one day, what does that mean? I'm found. Does that mean you're literally walking up to me one day after I've been sitting here for 10 years and saying, oh, I found my favor. Will you marry me? And then we just get married?
No, it means y'all date, but he asked you out.
Well, there you have it then, folks.
I mean, I'm just saying that's what, when a young lady is waiting to be found, it means
I couldn't imagine.
I ain't asking nobody to go out. I ain't pursuing no man.
I mean, I've never asked a man. I mean, I've asked you out, but I mean, I guess that was after years of like friendship and dating off and on. Me and you different, I guess. Like, I guess our history made it a little different for me in my head.
So you ain't never asked no other dude out?
No. I didn't need to. They always ask me out.
I guess I got the juice now.
We're married. But yeah, I mean, but I was raised like that too. Like I still had that in my head that I'm not asking no guy out. That's how I was raised.
But that's the thing, like you said, like it goes back to relationship, because until you got your own relationship with God, you just went by, okay, this is the way I was raised. Women don't ask guys out. Women don't pursue men. Women aren't supposed to find a husband. Then you get your own relationship. Then you're like, wait.
I mean, I still think the woman is not finding the husband. Now, don't get me wrong.
But that's, again, you're taking that like literally. Like, I'm just saying, like, based off the conversation that we having, like, just that making your, like you said, Ruth made whatever. What did you say? She made it known. Yeah, making yourself known. That's
okay. I got
that. To me, like, that's half the battle, so to speak. Like, women don't want to make themselves known. That's the same. You know what I'm saying? That's in the same vein. That to them at times is them pursuing or finding a husband.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sense.
Making themselves known. So I'm just saying, in that sense, you got a relationship for yourself and was like, oh, it's okay. Yeah, I still don't ask guys out, but okay, if I don't make myself known, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, then how's anybody going to know that I'm their favor, or like, that I'm ready to, that I'm wife material, or ready to be a wife?
Mm-hmm. So okay, let me ask you, when you were looking for a wife, what were you looking? What for you made you know I was your
Why is it?
favorite?
What is this? Ain't the topic?
It is because it kind of go
It
along
ain't
with
the
the same
topic.
thing. It really is. It's kind of the same thing.
Is it?
actually. Yes.
Doesn't sound like it.
It really do. Like, how did you know I was your favorite? I mean, at the end of the day, I even practiced being his favorite. So
What does that mean?
I practice not talking to you in the morning. Clearly, in my head, I said I chose to be his favorite today.
Clearly, you did say that.
So I'm still serious. Like, what let you know I was your favorite? That's part of this whole conversation.
It's not part of this conversation.
It is. We're talking about he who finds a wife.
I know, but that ain't got nothing to do with.
It's
Me
all
and you.
it's all the same. Like, because you can have men right now watching, like, oh, maybe she was my favorite, and they got that enlightenment based off of what you're about to say.
I doubt it.
You never know. I mean,
No, I doubt it. But anyway, honestly, it was
it's funny.
Yeah, because
Whatever, dude.
nah, it's funny because it was pretty much when you
Exactly. Just
What?
answer the question.
what is Gali?
Golly.
Are you Gomer Pyle?
But that's what you know what?
But no, really, it was when you was like, we ain't doing nothing. When you was like, we ain't doing nothing, but we was still like dating. He was like, we ain't doing nothing.
Wait a minute.
And you stuck to your guns. It was like, yeah.
Is this when you dumped me because I wasn't doing nothing?
Huh? Don't be lying. Don't be,
Hey, wait.
don't be lying to America.
So you dumped me, but knew I was your wife?
Yeah.
Do you know how backwards that is?
Yeah, but I mean, we talked about maturity earlier, didn't we? I mean, I'm just saying, you ain't always. I mean, you make.
First of all, America,
Oh, here we go.
he dumped me because I was trying to live holy.
Okay, America. So would it have been better to not?
But you said that's when you knew I was your wife.
I know. So you still, I mean,
okay, so he said you was fighting spirit and flesh.
Thank you, my brother.
I mean, okay. I mean, since he put it
like
that
they
way,
say on the DL, thank you, my brother. All right.
I mean, I guess I'm gonna agree with that. I mean, you dumped me, but figured out at the same time I was your wife.
Yeah.
I mean, we can go with that.
Like you said earlier, it's a maturity thing. It's yeah, just
so you were immature when you did that.
Yeah.
So when did you mature?
Man, like shortly thereafter.
I cannot.
Man. Huh?
Whatever.
Oh, you are silly.
So yeah, he was in his feelings.
Who said that?
Ashanti.
Oh, chill out. Yeah, that wasn't. Okay. Yep, I was in my feelings.
Exactly. You have to agree with these type of comments.
Not the kind of feelings you talking about.
Yep. And then Kristen said it was because I put my foot down.
Yeah, for sure.
And then suddenly I'm your wife now?
Yeah, for sure. Because initially I was like, man, I need to be having some loving.
Wait, okay. Wait, what?
Huh? Nothing. I'm just saying, like initially I was like, I'm not ready to not.
Oh, that's why you dumped.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And so then what changed your mind?
Huh?
Because what changed your mind after that then?
I mean, no, dear. I don't know. I really don't. I don't know.
You just knew I was your favorite?
I just knew you was. And in order for that to,
they do love a firm no.
In order for that to be what it is and what
so
it's going to be
the
like.
funny thing is,
who love a firm no?
Men.
Oh. Ha ha.
See, he got your back.
See,
Because I mean that makes sense.
right, but you will see you was trying to play me.
I wasn't. I mean,
You
I
was.
needed to see a different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. I even forgot what I was about to say. I had something really good and I forgot because he came to your rescue and it made a lot of sense. So it just wiped out what it was I was about to say. Because what I was about to say was going to be hating.
Oh my goodness!
I mean, I remember that part of it.
So you remember you was about to be hating on me?
Yeah, I do. But he literally came to your back and it makes sense.
See?
But you know,
I literally said that, but all right.
I know, but it's
different coming from him. Coming from me, it was just hogwash.
Yes, literally. I'm serious. Sometimes you really need to hear somebody else say it for it to make sense. Mm-hmm. I mean, at least I'm honest.
For sure.
I'm honest. For sure. So, we got other questions we supposed to be talking about too. We didn't answer them.
We did.
Okay, well, this is a good one. Oh, it's for me? I think this is a man's question to answer.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is an ultimatum of marriage the same as a woman pursuing a man or finding a husband?
That's more like a man's perspective there.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh,
I say yeah.
Yeah.
In the sense of if you have to give an ultimatum, then back to what you said, he's not ready to get married.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Like I think so. I think that in the literal sense of how people take that scripture and take that phrase, I think that would be defined as her finding a husband or pursuing a husband.
And see, I don't agree. Parenting moment. So I don't agree. Let's go back to this question so I can wait. I mean, that's kind of true. Peer pressure.
Hold on, what did it say?
Oh, my bad. I know you wasn't done reading.
So if an ultimatum is brought to the table, that's kind of peer pressure.
So the original question was, is an ultimatum of marriage the same as a woman pursuing a man or finding a husband? No, because typically for me, I'm putting myself in the shoes of the ultimatum. I've come to the realization that I deserve better than whatever the current situation is that made me give the ultimatum. Honestly, I probably wouldn't even give an ultimatum. Because if I have to give an ultimatum, I have to realize that he ain't ready and he ain't mature enough for it.
That's what I just said.
Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that.
I literally just said that.
But I thought you said it means she's pursuing and finding a husband.
I'm saying that because if he says yes under those conditions,
oh, okay, got you.
I'm saying to me, and based off of how people take that literally, I look at that as yes, that fits exactly what y'all are saying.
Got you.
When y'all say she finding a husband,
well,
or
you
she's
didn't explain
it
like that when you first said it.
All right.
It took me to kind of clarify before you.
That's why you're my favorite, dude.
Yeah, that's actually good. That's good right there. Yeah, you should keep that in mind.
I do.
Yeah, I felt that one. And I think this is our last one.
Last one. All right. So if the Bible is not quote unquote followed.
Now, can you further explain what you mean?
Yeah. So like we said, when people take it literally, like for all those individuals who look at it as the man has to seek them out, the man has to pursue them. Like they can't make themselves known to the man because then that will be them looking for a husband and yada, yada, yada.
So would the case of the ultimatum fit this question as well?
Yeah. Yeah. So when it doesn't work out the literal way that people take the Bible, is that marriage doomed? Like, is that marriage going to end in divorce?
So I think if the man is immature, yes, I believe it will end in divorce. Okay, because if you think about it, if I've given you an ultimatum, you're not mature enough to just literally say, I'm not ready. So you go ahead and accept this ultimatum because you think you might be losing something, or whatever the case may be. I don't think that's destined for greatness.
Okay.
I think the circumstances surrounding that is what we clearly see is not supposed to be a part of marriage. For one, and that's why I said, even if as a woman I go to a guy that I've been dating or with a long, long time and say, hey, let's get married or whatever the case may be, him saying yes to me in my mind is him showing the maturity that I'm ready for this thing too. Okay. And so, yes, I agree. I have found my wife.
Okay.
Now, if he, back and forth, okay, we're already getting an idea of his maturity level. So when you think of it, okay, first you're giving me we got an ultimatum here as well. I'm going back and forth. I'm not mature enough to make this decision, but I also don't want to miss what I think could be good for me. And so we go into this marriage. I'm still immature. You still looking at me that I had to give you an ultimatum to marry me. It's just bad. It's just all bad. It's all bad. I don't think it would survive unless both parties ended up having a true, authentic encounter with God and God was able to do some stuff. But I think that's also why it's always that push about the man being the head of the household, because it takes his maturity, to be able to make those type of decisions, to say, yes, I found my good thing. God, you told me when I find my wife, I obtain favor from you. But if you gave me an ultimatum and I'm back and forth, don't know, that's a lack of maturity. But then again, at the same time, it's God honors all marriages. So, I guess that's some stuff to think about.
So regardless of how they got together, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you feel like the man's maturity and growth and relationship is what's going to dictate whether or not that marriage is doomed.
Yes.
It's not, it doesn't, and so it doesn't matter how we got together.
Yeah, I don't think it matters how we got together. I think that's why it's very important for the man to have that ear. Like, Pastor was just saying that, like, he who has an ear, and although that, is a general terminology, if we compare the man to Adam had that ear,
right?
And everything came through Adam to the great fall, if you will. But at the same time, like if we walk into this marriage both in an immature state, that everything at the end of the day, for me, I'm always going to say is going to go back to your relationship with God. And where are you at with God, that God can begin to show you that, I'm walking in immaturity right now. God, right. Help me to grow up so I can be the man that you've called me to be. And maybe this thing did start out a hot mess, but through the maturity, through the relationship with God, through that growth, God can repair any type of relationship.
Right.
God can do whatever it is that he wants to. Maybe that's just part of the process that couple had to go through. I think that's different for every, couple, but when a marriage fails, although it can be both people that this marriage fails, you have to wonder, where was the maturity level, not with just the man, but of both people when we're talking. Because if God says he honors all marriages, that means God can do something even in the worst of marriages.
Right.
So, all right, so hold on.
Let me just move on. Oh.
No, I agree with that.
That makes sense.
But I mean, that's also why I say, are you mature enough to know this isn't my favor? Are you mature enough to to walk away from that thing when it's not. This isn't what God has for me.
Right.
You know, am I going to stay because it looks good, or am I
naturally it looks good and feels good, or
right?
whatever.
Or am I mature enough?
Yeah.
Or am I mature enough in my relationship with God to understand that this isn't my good thing,
right?
Like,
even if it's for right me. Now,
and be okay with walking away from what looks good to everybody else. Our relationship with God is very crucial in a lot of these decisions that we make. And I don't say that to say that I don't say that to say that you got to be one of those. That's when prayer comes in. Yeah. I don't think I'm not saying that to say you got to be one of those people that say, okay, God, what should I spend this $5 blessing on? Should I go to McDonald's? I'm not saying it like that.
Yes.
Because some people are like that. They really feel like
ask God about everything.
that they every single thing. But I think through relationship with God, some of these decisions you just need to make. Right. You can decide
what socks to wear today.
Yeah. But you can also decide, okay, through my relationship with God, this is the direction that He's lead me, and I think that's my wife.
Right.
And made that decision like, okay, God, I found my favor. Did God come to you and audibly say, Jude,
Tia is the one?
Yes. Like, did that happen to you?
He sounded like the guy in Evan Almighty. So he sounded like Morgan Freeman. No, I'm just playing. No.
He's a hater.
Okay.
But that, I mean, but I think, having that relationship, having that discernment, I think that'll help when we talk about this type of stuff.
I think that I think the biggest, when you talk about the maturity, I think the biggest part of the maturity, in my opinion, is what Rachel said about like all things working together for our good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think we had talked a little bit before. I know we're running low by like 3 minutes.
Do we? No, my watch, somebody did work out.
Yeah, that's like 3 minutes. But just going back to what she said, like having that maturity to understand that. And then not only that maturity, but like that strength and that wherewithal to like still fight. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're being led by God, you know what I'm saying? Like when you're not, when that ultimatum comes, you're like you said, you having that battle where one day you in it and then the next day you like, I should have just left this Negro when they said, you know what I'm saying? When they gave me that choice, you know what I'm saying? But like, if you have that maturity, that's why like when we ask the question, is it doomed? No, like you said, if you're both mature enough and strong enough and dependent on God enough, it can work out no matter how you met, no matter how y'all got together or whatever. Even if you one of them people that for your whole life felt like, look, if I pursue this dude, then oh my God, it's not gonna work. It's like
that's how they sounded in your head.
That's how they sounded in my head. I'm sorry. I know that's not how you. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like and like you said though, that's also a maturity thing, because then it's like, okay, rightfully dividing what the scripture says and not sitting there thinking like, oh, I gotta be waiting and be single till I'm 80 because because I'm passing up opportunity, or because I'm not, and I don't even necessarily want to say opportunity, but I'm not making myself known.
All right.
Like you sitting in the pew every Sunday, not scared to look at a guy because you like, I don't want nobody to think I'm pursuing him. Like he don't know you. Like he literally, like, dudes walking church. That's my husband.
Dudes walking church.
I mean, women.
Oh,
like, no, I'm saying dude walking to church and a woman, but that's my husband. Yeah, but dude ain't thinking about you right now.
That's actually kind of true. Patience and understanding. We can't be in between spirit and flesh. God will allow things to happen as He sees fit. We can't pick and choose what scripture to use and when to use it. Now that's a whole that's a whole word in itself.
Shoot, who is Facebook user? Please don't let it be one of my family members.
I don't know. No, because
I'm just playing. No, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think you have to do that. Yeah. Like that, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Because a closed mouth don't get fed, and like you said,
that's right.
Of course. but that's the thing. At the end of the day, like nobody's gonna know you if you know what I'm saying. Like sometimes you have to because yes, it goes back to being spiritual, but there's a natural side of life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like, regardless of how spiritual you think somebody may be or is, their natural being may be, I'm shy. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, maybe they like you so much that they like, yeah, like, oh man, yeah. So you just gonna sit there, y'all both gonna be sitting there like
shy for the rest of your life, and
it just never
shoot
happened.
Your shot and miss the opportunity. Yeah, I mean,
now,
I agree.
You done married Rollo, like Pastor said. You done married Rollo, and you was supposed to marry Lamont. But you sitting over there ain't saying that.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like you got to make yourself known. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, I think when we say we just look at that word as so harsh,
right.
And we think we look at the what we've seen pursuit to be,
right?
You know, the shenanigans, the the nonsense,
yeah.
You know, and so it's kind of like when we was talking about submission that one day, it puts it's like a bad word.
Yep.
Because
we look at it in such a natural sense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so I mean, I think if you got just how Ruth did, she made it known that, this is what I want from you, and you can either accept it or you can't. Yeah. But he came into agreement with that and found his favor. Mm-hmm. So I think it's okay for the woman to be like, I'm interested, and then where do it go from there?
Yeah, that could be y'all problem too, Rachel. Ain't that what he told?
Ain't that what he told Craig?
You have no game.
You forgot this whole comment that's on the screen.
Oh no, I seen it. That one was funnier. I'm just playing.
Wow.
Start dating and don't post. No, you skipped it.
I mean, because I felt like he be having your back.
He do. That's my guy.
You just said his comment wasn't funny. I'm just saying that's how I read. That's what I read.
Dude. He said, "Keep your business off social media." That's what he said, and I agree. Keep your business off social media.
That's what you has to say for tonight.
Yes. Keep your business off social media. Ladies, it's okay to shoot your shot. Make yourself known, because otherwise your husband may not find you, may not know you. But yeah, Rachel, like she told Craig, you have no game. But
it's fine.
It's all right.
We do a lot of movies over here, so
sometimes ladies just introduce yourself. Introduce yourself.
And I mean, at the same time, even with that, I'm going to recognize whether or not the interest is returned.
Yeah, for sure.
And if it's not, I know.
If it's not, like, okay, right now it ain't cooking.
I mean, that's how. Okay, well, that's another kind.
That's another day, another made up story coming. I can feel it. But thank y'all. I know we run over a little bit, and I like to be punctual. Yeah.
We know.
So we appreciate y'all for tuning in, all the comments, all the questions, sharing y'all insight and wisdom. We appreciate y'all. Thank you.
We do indeed. And so when is our anniversary? Is it next week or 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
On a Monday?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you want to do
it's on a Monday?
Do you want to talk about us and our 13 years next week, or the Wednesday after our actual anniversary? Because we said we was gonna do something marriagey. Because I
thought this was marriagey. You asked me all the marriage questions.
My marriagey comment meant literally about me and you.
Oh, about our marriagey? You decide.
You know what? Okay.
This is your podcast.
It's not.
I'm a special guest.
So I'm actually the special guest on his podcast, but
I don't even know how to work this video.
So we don't know what next week's topic is because Juby, he be late, so he be forcing me to come up with topics for his podcast.
If you got a topic, bro, just shoot me a message and then we can talk.
But okay, so the week of, that's when we're gonna do it.
Okay. That's the week of, so I got to think of a topic for next week.
Yes, you do.
Unless my man Marcus think of one.
So yeah, y'all can always, if like y'all have stuff that y'all want to hear from our perspective, we would love it. Just let us know. We can do that. So
we definitely appreciate y'all though.
We do. So we will see y'all next week at 9 p.m. for another one of our famous Pain Reality Conversations on the podcast of Jew Pain with his special guest Tia Payne.
Unbelievable.
I'm just saying that's how it goes. Ooh, yeah, we could do that one. Roles and relationships.
Yep, that's it.
No,
Tune
I
in
like
next
that.
week
Yeah,
for
we can
roles
do
and
that.
relationships.
Yep, that's what we're gonna talk about because I mean, you know, we got a lot of stuff to talk about when it comes to that. We do. So yes, that's what we'll talk about next week. So y'all have an amazing night, an amazing week. And we will see y'all back here next week. Same what do they say? Same bat time. Same bat, what was the other part?
Channel.
Same bat channel. Pain Reality. Yes. I mean, come on now. All right. Y'all have a good night. Bye-bye.